Today I'm going to make some vegan deli ham slices using seitan. Perfect for just about any sandwich you can think of, and while I do love store-bought vegan ham, I think I dig this more and it's a lot cheaper as well. In fact, these deli slices cost about 5 times more than this loaf of seitan ham, so it's well worth it in my book. Now I recommend doing this with a food processor. Alternatively, you could also blend all the wet ingredients in a blender and knead with a stand mixer as well, or knead by hand, but it's going to take some time and elbow grease, so be forewarned. Alright, so first we're going to get a whole 15-ounce can of cannellini beans, and we are using all the bean juice, aka aquafaba as well. You could use other white beans like navy beans or great northern beans or chickpeas, they should work great. Our next ingredient is 1 tablespoon of miso paste. If you have a soy allergy, you could use coconut aminos or some mushroom seasoning instead. And then we're going to do 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast for flavor and the ever elusive vitamin B12. Followed by 1 tablespoon each of garlic and onion powder. And then next is some smoked sea salt. If you can't find this, you could use 1 tablespoon of regular sea salt and like 1 to 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika. My buddy Mike at Bold Flavor Vegan also has a vegan ham video where he makes his own smoked salt, so I'm going to link to that in the description as well. Next, we're going to do 1 teaspoon of MSG. I know there's still a few folks that don't like MSG, so don't use it if you don't want to. And we're also going to do 1 teaspoon of baking powder, which is going to help get rid of the funky aftertaste that seitan sometimes has. 2 tablespoons of tapioca starch is going to help with a better texture. We're also going to do 1 tablespoon of liquid smoke. If you don't want to use this, you could also try some smoked paprika. And for the color, I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon of red dye. I know this is a controversial ingredient for some folks, so you can either use dyes made from fruits like these, or maybe some red yeast rice powder, beet powder, or beet juice. Just keep in mind the color may not be as vivid, and for the beet juice, you may need to add more vital wheat gluten to offset the added liquid. Or skip it altogether, the color will just be more of a dull brown if you're okay with that. In any case, we're going to want to blend that all up for a minute or so until it's well incorporated, and then we're going to add in a vital ingredient, the vital wheat gluten, which is what makes seitan, so unfortunately this cannot be made gluten-free. I'm adding 2 cups or 240 grams worth. I highly recommend weighing it out if you can to be the most accurate. I'm going to go ahead and blend that up, and because my food processor is only 11 cups, I'm going to take out about half of it and then knead it in batches. And unless you have a fairly big food processor, you should do the same, otherwise it could overheat and shut down. We're going to want to let the food processor knead this for about 4 to 5 minutes. Here's what it looks like after about 3. As we can see, it's almost like ground beef, and when I smush it together, it sticks well. However, I can easily rip it apart. This means we need to develop the gluten more, so knead it for another minute or so. Once you can stretch it something like this, it should be good. You definitely want to see those gluten strands, and it should be resistant to tearing immediately. Once it's looking good, let it rest in a bowl and repeat with the other half, and then when that's all been kneaded, you can simply smash them together into one big ball, let that rest, and preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. After the oven is preheated, it's time to bake our seitan, and normally I would wrap this very tightly in some heavy-duty foil, usually in 2 layers like so. However, I've recently learned about these deli meat presses from the Seitan Appreciation Society on Facebook, which is probably the only reason I keep my Facebook account, to be honest. They're great not only because they are zero waste, but they are perfect for deli meats like these, so highly suggest if you want to make deli slices on the regular. We just need to load them in like so and bake them for about 1 hour. Ideally, you have a thermometer like one of these and can take it out once it reaches about 180 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the most foolproof way to make sure your seitan is properly cooked. But once they are baked, let them cool and then store them in the fridge overnight. And this is very important for the final texture, so don't skip it. The next day, you can plop it out of the ham press, and to slice these, you could use a sharp knife or a mandolin, but I have a deli meat slicer, so I'm going to use that. And I know that this isn't practical for everyone, but if you think you're going to be making a bunch of lunch meat seitan and you have the space, it's pretty nifty to have around. This one cost me about $100, and it's lasted me for a few years now, so definitely worth it in my book. Now this seitan actually has no fat in it, as fat can inhibit gluten development, so what I like to do is just coat these in some oil after slicing. Totally optional, but I find it does enhance the flavor and texture personally. And yes, you can totally heat these up in a frying pan, just don't go too long or they get kind of crispy, which incidentally reminded me of bacon, so I'll have to test out a bacon recipe using this sometime soon too. Also, if you find that your seitan is too soft after baking, you can totally fry the slices up like this to salvage the loaf as well. Either way, once it's sliced, you can use this however you'd like. I've been eating it all week in hoagies. This is how I make mine, but obviously do yours as you like. You could make a ham and cheese melt. You could make an old teenage favorite, the ham and cheese with Dorito sandwich. Literally anything you like. My favorite was probably the ham, egg, and cheese I made, which was fan-freaking-tastic. In fact, I think my next video might be this and a Cuban sandwich and a Monte Cristo, so I highly encourage you to make this seitan ham, and if you do, let me know how it goes, and I'll see you all next time.